Fast and Rhino. These two terms don't really come together in the same sentence. It's really hard to imagine that Rhino is one of, if not the fastest Warframe in general missions. Because if you look at Rhino's entire kit, there's nothing really can make Rhino go fast. You can say it's Rhino Charge, but with how it works, who could have imagined that this ability is any good for speed? And that is exactly that for 11 plus years, until a year ago. I used to be a non-believer just like the rest, until my eyes were accidentally opened while I was looking into Rhino Charge for practical use, and the rest is history. Everyone, including past me, just don't understand Rhino Charge. On paper, Rhino Charge is simple. Rhino charges forward for 12 meters, dealing 650 impact damage to enemies around 2 meters of him as he charges forward, and gain a combo multiplier. This combo multiplier is a bit misleading but shouldn't be a problem, though you should keep that in mind. What is constant is that the combo lasts for 1 second base, and will be refreshed once you cast Rhino Charge again. At the first cast, Rhino Charge is what it is shown on stat screen, but by the second charge, Rhino did gain 2 times damage, but the cost is now cut by 50%, aka 12.5 energy, with its dash range of 12 meters is now increased by 1.25 times to 50 meters at 3rd consecutive cast, and afterwards, Rhino Charge now deals 4 times damage with its cost now cut by 75%, being only 6.25 per cast, with its dash range increased by 1.5 times, aka 80 meters. All of this sounds simple, but what is not told is that all these stats are multiplicative. This includes the ability cost cut and range increase, which it is multiplicative to ability efficiency and range, which means that by modding both 175% efficiency and 145% range, Rhino Charge only costs 1.5625 energy on 3rd consecutive cast, and afterwards with a dash range of 26.1 meters. All these are just the simple part about this ability, because as you can tell, it really don't feel as fast. Or you can even say it felt kinda clunky in some way. So what's the secret? First, let me introduce you to a brand new mechanic that I term as the RCBJ Cancelling. Before we get into the nitty-gritties, just what makes this mechanic important? RCBJ Cancelling, or Rhino Charge Bullet Jump Cancelling, is as what its name suggests, utilizing both Rhino Charge and Bullet Jump Cancelling. For Bullet Jump Cancelling, this is a well-known technique in this game that is constantly being utilized by high-level players. They cancel the animation of Bullet Jump with roll. It makes you move faster as it can consistently provide a boost of speed every time you execute the animation cancelling, allowing them to blitz through the mission faster than usual. This form of cancelling is also applied to Rhino Charge, thus RCBJ Cancelling. But what makes this technique so important for Rhino Charge isn't just because this, but the fact that Rhino Charge is now the only known ability in this game that is directly affected by Bullet Jump. Who could have thought? If you execute the mechanic, you can immediately feel that Rhino just feels so fast, but definitely not this fast like what you see right now. The reason is that Rhino Charge simply carries over the remaining distance of Bullet Jump and just add the distance into Rhino Charge while charging at 48 meters per second. It's well known that Rhino Charge didn't preserve momentum, but what is not known is that Rhino Charge is actually preserving a different momentum. What is needed to be changed as well is that people really just use Rhino Charge like this. Sorry to say that, but that's not the way. This is the way. The reason is that Rhino Charge never alters your air momentum and just bring it forward after charge. And on ground, you just never have any momentum to begin with for preservation. When you hold aim key, Rhino Charge is able to not fall down as well, or you can choose to fall down a bit if you let go of aim key. Just the standards, nothing too out of ordinary. But what is out of ordinary isn't the fact that this ability has the highest fixed speed of any dash based ability, by being 48 meters per second is because the fact that RCBJ Cancelling exists. Rhino Charge is the only known speed ability that is affected by one thing, one particular stat boost that every other speed ability just don't care about at all: Parkour Velocity. Parkour Velocity is probably one of the most favored and underrated stats that any frame can acquire. It turns any slow moving frame into a speed demon. But this is the stat that any of your Volts, Gausses, and Titanias just didn't give a damn, but not Rhino. Remember that I said Rhino Charge can carry over the distance that a bullet jump had? Because the fact that bullet jump scales with Parkour Velocity, Rhino Charge's viability is also now linked with how much Parkour Velocity you had on Rhino. Though it shouldn't be too much, 30% at most will do. Having a bit of Parkour Velocity on Rhino can be a night and day difference. Thus, you should in any way source yourself a Parkour Velocity increase, either via this insanely underrated mod, or Archon Shard, or even better, Praedos. This is why Praedos is just the best melee statistic on Rhino. The fact that it provides plus 30% Parkour Velocity on the get-go, and combining this with the RCBJ Cancelling mechanic, it turns Rhino from one of the slowest frame in this game to just, if not, one of the fastest in general missions, making him not only an actually accurate depiction of a real-life Rhino, but also having the most beautiful and intricate speed abilities in this game. Rhino Charge is just insane not because it is proven to make Rhino insanely fast that only the best speed frames can compete with him. It's because unlike all the speed abilities in this game, Rhino Charge blends so beautifully into your fundamental movement tools. It feels like Rhino Charge is adding into them, instead of like other speeding tools where they play way lesser roles. Methods like bullet jump into charge and double jump into charge again is easily the most common method. It's simple and covers a very long distance. Or bullet jump into charge and roll, where you just want to traverse a place that is not too long of a straight line and the benefits from the combo counter isn't what you want here. Or the simplest method of bullet jump and charge, rinse and repeat, the list goes on. The moment of when you should hold your aim key is important as well, as you can decide whether you want to curve down or not. There's just many intricacies and its design within this ability that I can talk about, but I don't think this video can cover them all. So let's just jump to how to mod Rhino Charge. Surprisingly, modding for Rhino Charge is easy. The things that Rhino innately wants in other parts of his kit is also demanded by Rhino Charge: range, duration, energy economy, and casting speed. You're just gonna have them on Rhino anyways, which leaves us only with Parkour Velocity and Energy Start. Like what is mentioned before, you can either mod Mobilize or source one Tower Forge Archon Shard for Parkour Velocity, or just bring Praedos. This leaves the only mod you need on Rhino being an Energy Start mod, which is Preparation in this case, or 2 Tower Forge Archon Shards once again if you really want to save a slot, and that's your entire speed build. Rhino Charge not only blends well within the common movement tools, it is also very non-obstructive for Rhino, which is insanely uncommon for a movement ability, needing almost no additional effort in modding your Rhino to make this ability shine insanely well. Since the day of me becoming the believer of Rhino Charge, throughout all Rhinos I had, with over 40 plus individual builds in total, Subseamless Rhino is always in the first Rhino and at the first config as well, named Pure Rhino. This version of Rhino just feel and hit different. I may replace Rhino Charge to allow me to experiment with so many other subsume choices that Rhino can play around with, and turn Rhino into the omnipotent god that he is. But I will always fall back to this loadout for my daily content. It may still unable to escape the fact that the rest of his kit is just that good that despite being just as insane that it has to be the scapegoat, but for me, it has a special place. Rhino Charge simply needs not Ironclad Charge to shine. Without it, Rhino Charge alone is still an insane movement tool that unfortunately not much people knew how it works. And that's it. See you all next time. Goodbye.